Ahoy and welcome back once again to the channel. My name's Gary. I like watches. If you're here watching this, you probably like watches too. Today I've got the latest release from an AliExpress brand called IXDAO. I know it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? But they do make beautifully finished watches, and today I'm going to be showing you their latest dive watch. 5 different models or dial versions, colors, a couple of different dial versions actually. This one has a sort of streaky, almost ocean effect dial. There is another one with a sort of dragon scale dial, very interesting. Retailing for $252 on AliExpress. There is a $10 discount code, so I was offered this watch just now for $242. And yeah, in the pictures it looks beautifully made. Let me get some plastic off, unpackage all this stuff, and then I'll be back in a mo. Right, we are good to go. I have removed all the plastic, put some power into the NH35, resized it for my wrist, and moved the hands out the way so we can have a proper good look at this dial. When I was unboxing it, the first thing that I noticed was this really nicely brushed, quite substantial surface on the side of the case. With this, what looks to be incredibly well polished chamfered edge there, separating the side of the case and the top of the case, that just looks to be done so well. I think their watches are known for being well finished, and yeah, when you see things like that, well, anyway, it impresses me. The brushing on top of the case is a sort of sunburst brushing look. It sort of radiates out from the center of the dial. Something else that I noticed pretty quickly, I'm not sure I'm a fan of it. You've got a 13 link bracelet. Each one of these links, by the way, is individual. They're all completely separate. They move independently. But you've got 3 in the middle that are polished. And I think the surfaces just aren't substantial enough for it to be that obvious. So you end up looking at the bracelet and thinking, well, something weird going on in the middle of the bracelet. It's just not overly clear. Probably not helped by the fact that the brushing is very satin-like. It's a very fine brushing, so it also looks very reflective. But yeah, I also thought it was quite small. I was expecting it to be a bit of a monster, but it seems quite small. Yeah, as soon as I unboxed it, I just looked at it and thought, oh, it's, where's the rest of it? But very cool dial, very cool dial. Would have been nice actually to have seen the other one, because the scales on the other one are really quite interesting and unusual, but there's a very different theme to this one. Yeah, this is a very sort of ocean-based dive watch, whereas the other one is sort of inspired by dragons. I've already mentioned it, NH35 inside of this watch. Something else I noticed quite early on, the grip on the bezel is almost non-existent. The sort of finish on the outside of the bezel has been polished and therefore rounded off. There's no coarseness to it. It feels very slippery and greasy. So the grip isn't fantastic, which means I think it's also not helped by the size of that area and the shape of it. But it just means the bezel action, not the nicest to sort of fiddle with. The clicks seem nice and crisp, and the alignment seems excellent. So I'm not going to complain too much, but yeah, there's almost no grip there. I really like the case shape, very pebble-esque, isn't it? Quite chunky. Not very big, 39.5mm in diameter, according to the listing. Actually, let's get the calipers out and look at the actual size of this. It's difficult to actually gauge the diameter, but yeah, 39.5mm. I think that's pretty accurate. 12.3mm thick, case length bang on 44. And we have 20mm lugs, and there is some taper on the bracelet. Not much, a couple of millimeters. Tapers down to 18mm. Right, let me give you the weight for my roughly average sized wrist. Yeah, 141 grams. Nice weight. Right, let's test the crystal. Yep, sapphire crystal, and it is a piece of, well, there's a bit of distortion there, look. So it's not a fully double domed crystal, and you can see there is quite a lot of glare and reflection actually. I would have preferred a proper double domed crystal just to minimize that reflection and glare and improve clarity at a tight angle. But we do have a piece of sapphire crystal. Now it is a dive watch, so we have 200 meters of water resistance, screw down case back, screw down crown. The bezel action is 120 click unidirectional bezel action, solid end links. These are all solid links, and like I've said already, each one of these sort of beads of rice, you could call this almost a beads of rice bracelet, is an individual link. Which is pretty cool, isn't it? Mostly brushed, a little bit of polishing on the outer shell as well. Look, milled in elements, and you do have an on-the-fly adjustment system. And yeah, the action's actually quite nice. Feels quite smooth. Feels like decent quality. So yeah, decent construction throughout. Applied indices. I'll show you some loom. That's one of them sort of loom fading shots, and I'll also film the loom degrading over a 5-minute period and compare it to my rubbish watch and my good watch, well, which is actually that one there. So you'll see the loom degrading at the end of the video. That will help you determine whether or not the loom on this watch is any good. Interesting hands, partly skeletonized look, and the applied indices, the dial, the hands, the frame around the date window, all looks to be very nicely done. And the finishing overall does look to be exceptional. It really, really does. They're right up there with San Martin Chronos. There's a few brands now on AliExpress that can just finish steel to an unbelievable level. And overall, their production quality is just, well, remarkable for the money. Really, really is. Now, something I haven't pointed out yet is the insert. Ceramic bezel insert, brushed, but not circular brushing. It's got similar brushing to the case. It sort of radiates out from the center of the dial. That's a nice touch as well, isn't it? End link fit seems good. Yeah, it's an impressive piece. I knew it would be. IXDAO do make very nicely made watches. Yeah, elasticated double pass nylon. Well, sort of, is it nylon? It's probably not nylon actually, but I don't want to say the other N word because that's trademarked. And people get in trouble for using it, don't they? Rubber strap, a 2-piece rubber strap with a branded buckle, fully brushed by the looks of it. Yeah, very nice. I'll take some wrist shots, show you the watch on my wrist, but let's pop it on my wrist on the bracelet first of all. And yeah, there it is. It's a very nicely weighted watch, 141 grams, decent weight distribution all the way around. I'm really not convinced by those 3 polished center links on the bracelet. It just looks a bit odd to me. But yeah, I like the case shape, the overall design, very cool, very different, isn't it? Guys, let me know what you think of this new release by IXDAO. The Dragon one looks a little bit too much for me, a step too far in terms of its dial design. I definitely prefer this one. It just would be nice to see it a little bit more clearly with a piece of double domed sapphire crystal. But there you go, guys. As always, a massive thank you from me to you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.